In this tutorial we are going to look at exhibition design, but before we begin we're going to look at final pieces. So in the photography, the actual exhibition design is very different to the other subjects. Often in the photography, the final piece takes up the whole exhibition space. So before we begin looking at exhibition design, really you need to think about what you would like your final piece to be. So how would you like this project to conclude? So here are just a few ideas that you could use. So number one could be prints. So some of you may wish to select your best photographs or even some of your best developments and have them presented as prints. Other final pieces could include publications. So some of you may wish to create your own book. Obviously we won't be expecting you to have this printed, as the majority of the exhibition is going to be online. So you could use issue, but you could really think about editorial design, pairing up your photographs and how you would present them within a publication. So here's some examples there of past students and how they've done this. And we've also had students in the past that have created videos. Now I know a few people are thinking about producing a film final piece. So if it is that you're going to be doing something like that, you need to think about how this would have been presented in your exhibition space. We are going to be putting some examples of video work online, so you can have a look at what students have produced in the past. So usually students would complete two projects within their A-level. The component one, which is the personal investigation, which you have all been working on for the past several months, and then they would present their exam. So obviously there is no exam this year, so we're expecting you to design one exhibition wall. Now we're just going to take you through some examples, and then we're going to take you through what is called the plan sheet. It'll all make sense in a second. So let's look at how some students in the past have approached exhibition design and looking at prints. So here's two examples here. So you can see when compared to the other subjects, the photography exhibition spaces can be quite stripped down. So here on the left you can see that the student has opted to select some of her film, some of the photographs she took on film, and then she had them enlarged and printed on boards. But you can see she's really thought about the layout of her exhibition, the sizes of the prints, etc. On the right, again, you can see two variations here of prints. One where she's looked at using frames, and the other she's opted for 4 large-scale prints. So this is what we want you to think about. How you would present it. So let's focus on this particular one here. So on the left you can see that this was actually a personal investigation. It was about collage. So these are prints that she's organised on the wall. Now you can see that a lot of design work's gone into this. They fit perfectly. So when we look at the plan, this would be similar to the plan that this student would have used. And the plan that you can see there on the right, what the student has used is a template. So these templates are going to be available on the HCC Art website. So we really want to think about how you would present this work. So here's some panels. So for those of you that do graphics, obviously you'll be designing a space very similar to that on the left hand side. And then when you look at the one on the right hand side, her actual final piece is those beautiful little slides. They were digital collages that she then she printed onto acetate and then did some beautiful projections. So rather than just have those slides on the wall, she opted to put some developments on there as well. Same on the right hand side, we've got some large scale prints, but then we've got these beautiful panels. So some of you may wish to approach your exhibition design in this manner. This is also an example of a panel. So you can see there, this particular student has split the board into two. So we've got the panel with the film final piece underneath it, and then we've also got some light boxes on the right. These panels, like I said before, are very similar to the approach that we have in graphics, so some of you may wish to do something like this. But ultimately, in the photography, often the final piece is the whole wall. So let's look at some light boxes. Now, we won't be expecting you to make light boxes. We just, if it is that you've thought about doing light boxes as a final piece, if you tell us in the plan, we can then see how you would have approached the exhibition space. And here's some more examples of light boxes. And here you can see on the right is the plan sheet the student has designed for this particular wall. So at the top, the student opted to select 8 of their best photographs from the project. In the centre is the final piece, which are light boxes, and then at the bottom is some further development. Like I said before, photography, students tend to opt as a final piece for the full wall, so this was the student's final piece with these beautiful collages that she produced, which actually during her exam. But you can see a lot of thought has gone into this, the way it's been exhibited, and you can see on the right this would have been the plan that the student would have drawn up. And there's some more examples of a similar approach when it comes to prints. Some students as well decide to have objects within their exhibition space. So for some of you I know who are doing an object project, the objects are obviously very significant, so it could be that in terms of a plan you would have had them in your exhibition space as well. So the plan on the right, you can see they've got some photographs, and then underneath those symbols show the idea of having some shelves with the objects on. So on the website you'll see that there is a link to anoaktree.org. Now, an oak tree is a website that we've used to archive our past exhibitions. So on here you can have a look at the past 9, and just have a look at how other students have approached their exhibition spaces. Like I said, the photography ones are always very different to the other subject areas, so take the time to have a look. So like here, for example, this one, you can see it's very minimal. She's opted to have just the final pieces on the wall. You could do that as well. The same with this one. So take the time out to have a look at that website. And then what we'd like you to do, please, is we'd like you to look at the plan template. So this is something that students have always produced in the past. Usually they've handwritten it and drawn all over it, but what we've done is we've created a pages document that allows you to play around with exhibition ideas. So it could be you are thinking about doing 3 prints as a final piece. So by putting this plan sheet together, it gives us an idea of how you envisaged your exhibition looking, and that'll help us when marking this particular project. So like this one here represents light boxes, so you can enlarge them, and we just want you to experiment with layouts. Think about how you'd like to present prints, or if you would like a video in your space, if you'd like shelves in your space. So it could be that you produce maybe even 4, 6 or 8 different designs. It just gives us an idea of what you are planning for an exhibition. Now, these will go onto your website. Have a look at the example one that's on HCCR. Once you have decided on sort of what you'd plan to do for your exhibition, you will then select the images that you would have used. And then what she's done there is she's selected those prints that she would have had printed and then displayed them on the plan sheet. So this is what we would mark as your final piece. Now, if you have any further questions about this, don't hesitate to ask us. Again, all the material that you need is available on HCCR, and please do take the time out to have a look at anoaktree.org.